All right, it is the end of July, which means that anyone looking for an action camera right now is thinking one thing. Should you pull the trigger and buy one now, or should you wait and see what GoPro is going to announce? And this year is the GoPro Hero 10, so we're expecting big things, but what are we gonna get? Today I'm gonna round up all the rumors that are kind of out there flying around on the internet, talk about which of them I think are actually gonna happen, and then I'm also gonna kind of sprinkle in my wish list for the Hero 10. Yeah, we'll kind of talk about those all along the way. And then we're gonna end with the competition, just kind of talking about a few competitors that are out there that are trying to eat GoPro's lunch, and if the GoPro Hero 10 isn't, it's gotta be good. The Hero 10 has gotta be good for GoPro's sake because the competition's coming pretty strong. Before we jump into that though, hit that like button. That helps me out a ton on these videos. Maybe you think about subscribing if you haven't already. Tons more GoPro action camera info coming in the next couple months. And a massive thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Cuts Clothing. You guys have heard me talk about these guys before, but my closet is pretty much just Cuts shirts and Be a Good Human shirts now. And I actually just went through my closet and got rid of a few more of those shirts that, you know, like in your closet, you've got like your A-game shirts where you're like, oh yeah, this one's good. And then you've got your like, I don't know, just shirts that you don't reach for a lot. I got rid of a bunch of those and I replaced them with more Cuts shirts. But most important, Morgan loves them. Every time I put one of these on, she makes a comment about my shirt. Even after a few months, I put one on and like throw a t-shirt and jeans on and she's like, wow, babe, you look really good. And I'm like, it's a t-shirt and jeans. It's kind of every guy's dream is to just be able to put a t-shirt on and your wife be like, yeah, good job, you look good. For now though, you guys can shoot over to the first link in the description and grab yourself a t-shirt that'll make your wife go, wow, babe, you look good. Okay, into the GoPro Hero 10. What do we know so far? What's out there? And what do we actually think is going to be in that next release camera? As far as the release date go, we're probably still looking at the end of September, early October. They've kind of been on that yearly cycle every year. And even though there's been a chip shortage this year, I think they're gonna stick to that cycle. As far as price goes, I think we're still gonna stick in that like $449 to $499 price range. There might be a higher model and a lower model that seems like something that might be happening. I would love to see them come back out with a Hero Session or something like the Hero Session, just obviously upgraded. But having two cameras at two different price points, it seems like a great idea because this camera at $450, although you could do the subscription, I know you can get it cheaper, but it was still very, very spendy. And a lot of other companies are coming out with that premium option and then a cheaper option. So for people that look at this and they go $450, there's no way they could pick up something like a Hero Session for maybe $250 or $300. I think that would be ideal, but we'll see. I think GoPro got rid of the Hero Session in the first place because it was kind of cannibalizing the larger camera market. But now that there's so many other competitors in the market, I think they need multiple cameras at different price points to compete. All right, into form factor. I think generally we're gonna see a really similar looking GoPro. I don't think it's gonna get much larger than the Hero 9 did, even though the Hero 8 got larger than the Hero 7, and then the Hero 9 got larger than the Hero 8. I don't see them being able to go too much larger with this before we're like, hey man, that's not an action camera anymore. There have been tons of rumors about the rear screen becoming an edge-to-edge rear screen, meaning there would be no bevel on it, there would be no big chin on this side here, but every GoPro before that has always had that side chin on one side or the other. And the main problem with this rumor is that the larger the rear screen gets, the poor battery life we get. Your screen is already sucking most of your battery power, then you add on that front screen, which I think we're gonna have on the Hero 10 as well, and you say, make that bigger, probably just means less battery life. And speaking of batteries, I think that we're gonna stick with the same batteries from the Hero 9. These are the 1720s. These were an upgrade over the Hero 8's 1220s, and I just bought 6 of these, so I sure hope they don't have these for one generation of a GoPro and then they're gone. So with that in mind, that they'll be the same battery size, a larger rear screen, it just doesn't seem ideal. I think the flip down feet and the battery door will remain the same. Over to the Hero 10, I think the placement of the USB-C and the SD card in there, that's all gonna stay the same. I don't think anything's gonna change there. And then the replaceable lens cover, which everyone kind of freaked out when the Hero 8 removed the replaceable lens cover. They're for sure gonna have this on the Hero 10 because they've got that sweet lens mount in there for the Max Lens mod. And this is all gonna have to stay the same if the Max Lens mod is gonna fit onto the Hero 10, which would be, it would suck if they released a Hero 9 and a Max Lens mod and then that Max Lens mod didn't fit the very next generation of camera. So I think think we're gonna see that on there, but what I'm hoping is that we get more lens mods, all right? We have the max lens mod, but that's the only mod they've released. So it would be awesome if with the Hero 10, maybe we got a macro lens it could mount on there, maybe a telephoto lens it could mount on there. They just haven't made anything but the max lens mod so far. And then physically last on my wish list for the Hero 10 is a third button, the Osmo Action. This guy. I love this camera, and one of the main reasons that I love this camera is this little QS button on the side. It's a quick switch button, and essentially what it does is I can have a bunch of different modes, a bunch of different custom modes dialed in, put into the quick switch menu, and then from a physical button switch between those. So in the Hero 8 and Hero 9, I can go in and there's custom settings that I can set up. I can set up custom presets, but if I'm underwater or I have big snowboard gloves on, I'm not able to use the touch screen to switch between those. All I can use is the mode switch on the side to switch between photo, video, and time lapse. With the quick switch button, this third button here, I can switch between all my custom presets, even if I have gloves on, even if I'm underwater, if I'm scuba diving and I don't have access to the touch screen, I can use that quick switch button. I would love to see GoPro just copy it, steal it. All right, into resolutions and frame rates, and there's a ton of rumors that we're gonna see 4K 120 frames a second on the Hero 10. And with the sensor that I think they're gonna have in there, I think it's plausible. I think that 4K 120 frames a second sounds reasonable. Now 5K 60 frames a second, I don't think we're gonna see. Maybe if we did, awesome, but I think we'll probably stay at 5K 30 frames a second, and then we'll bump up that 4K up to 120 frames a second, which would be amazing. Now, another rumor that's been flying around is 8K, and I would highly doubt that. And the reason for that brings us to the sensor, and I do not think they're gonna put a new sensor in the Hero 10 over the Hero 9. Both the Hero 7 and Hero 8 had the Sony IMX277 sensor in them, and now this guy switched to the IMX677. So this was a brand new sensor that GoPro switched to for the Hero 9, and because that's expensive to put a new sensor in a camera, I'm almost positive that the Hero 10 will share the IMX677 sensor. Now, as much as I would love to see a 1-inch sensor in a GoPro, I think that would just be so dope. Because of the logistics, because they just moved to the IMX677, I'm pretty sure they're gonna maintain that sensor. So there's limits onto what that sensor can do. And 8K, it's not one of them. But where they could squeeze more out of that IMX677 is the processor. The Hero 7 and Hero 8 have used GoPro's GP1 chipset. And then they put the GP1 in here with a new sensor and new features and higher resolution, and we saw what we got. We got a slow, laggy GoPro that crashed a ton. So even carrying the same sensor over to the Hero 10, but adding in a new processor, maybe a GP2 or GPX, since this is the Hero 10, whatever they want to call it, a new chip, a new processor in here would make this sensor better. And overall, we would just get a snappier feeling GoPro where we swiped, things felt proper. Then the last couple things that have been rumored for the Hero 10 are wireless charging, which doesn't excite me at all. Mainly because wired charging will always be faster. And when I'm charging up action camera batteries especially, I want them to charge fast. Fast is most important. The idea of a convenience factor of being able to take my GoPro and putting it on a wireless charging mat, not that exciting to me. And then the last real rumor is other lens mods. Now, I would love to see lens mods like I mentioned, but again, they're tricky to make, tricky to design, tricky to produce mainly. I would kind of assume if they do release more lens mods, those will be something where they'll announce it, but we won't actually see them until like next year at some point. Okay, back to my wish list here. There's 2 things that are really on my wish list, or 3 rather. You could give me the Hero 9, give me all the exact same specs, same resolution, same everything, with a faster processor, a third button for quick select, and a better audio solution. So currently we either have the media mod that you put this thing into and then you can attach a microphone, or we have like the big dongle that you plug in there, you mount somewhere and you can plug a microphone in here. What would be super dope is a Bluetooth mic option. Give me a little mic, something that looks like the Rode Wireless Go, something like this, just like a little Bluetooth unit that can Bluetooth with my GoPro. So now these two can talk. I could just clip this thing on my shirt and then boom, wirelessly be Bluetoothing the audio to my GoPro. It would solve so many problems in so many ways, because right now I do use the Wireless Go, but I have to clip this to this guy and then do the input into the media mod. It makes the whole system huge. Just build that into the camera so I can use something like that and make it GoPro. I'll buy it from you. That would be super dope. Okay, those are like my main 3 things that I want to see on the camera. Again, the Hero 9 has been awesome. It's been a really great camera. It just doesn't work very often. There's a lot of bugs, and that comes down to the processor. Now give me that quick switch button, give me that processor, and give me an audio option, and I'll give you $500. 100%, I will buy that camera. But who is waiting in the wings? There's 2 big companies. One is DJI. The Osmo Action 1 is still an incredible camera. Like years later now, this camera in a lot of ways still beats the Hero 9. If you don't believe me, click up there, go watch that video, and you'll see that this guy selling for $200 now still in a lot of ways beats this camera. But the Osmo Action 2, whenever they do decide to release this camera, which I think they would be smart to wait to see what the Hero 10 is and then announce this after that or later at some point. Or they could do what Sony did where Canon announced their R5 and then Sony was like, hey, here's the A7S III like a week later. That was messed up, man. But they could announce the GoPro. The Osmo Action 2 could be announced like a week or 2 later or even a month later, whenever it is. The Osmo Action 2, because this was a Gen 1 product and it was so damn good. I have some ideas on how to make this camera even better. Let me know in the comments if you guys want a whole video on the Osmo Action 2, what I think the Osmo Action 2 will be or should be. But I think these guys are probably best positioned to eat GoPro's lunch if the Hero 10 does not live up to what we expect. And if they don't do it, Insta360 is nipping at their heels as well. And Insta360 is coming out with cameras like at a shocking pace. This guy, the Go 2, this little teeny tiny camera that's that big. I made a whole video where we compare the Hero 9 and its little teeny tiny camera, and I think you'd be shocked at the results. Click up there to go see that. So there are cameras, there are other companies that are in the space now that are already coming for GoPro. And I gotta be honest, with GoPro being kind of a one product company, the Hero 10 is going to need to be awesome. And not just awesome, like they're gonna have to go all in on this thing. Like this is a Hail Mary pass in my opinion. The Hero 10 has gotta be awesome. Otherwise these guys over here, hold it all, are going to eat their lunch. Subscribe to the channel though, updates coming as they come out, as more rumors come out, as I hear more from different little sources that I have around the industry. I'll make more videos like this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys think of the Hero 10 potentials, like the rumors that are out there, what I think should be on the camera, and what do you think should be on the camera? What do you think the Hero 10 should have or has to have to fend off these guys? Let me know, and I'll see you guys soon.